welcome to this week's review of Cloverfield.
Rob, have fun in Japan.
You owe me $11.
How are you going to survive without Rob? He's like your main dude.
Yeah, no. Hey, how am I going to survive without you? I don't know, I'm like your main dude. What was that noise?
It sounded like an animal.
Yeah, just relax. Everything.
Phone calls are pouring into the New York One newsroom as a thunderous, roaring sound.
You can see something from the roof?
What animal sounds like that? Shaking everywhere, man. It's like tremors.
Looks like you should have left town a little bit earlier.
This was easily one of the best marketed films in a long time. You're going to hear this film mentioned a lot along with the Blair Witch Project. And I think we all got the idea from the trailer that this movie was supposed to be shot like it was truly filmed by a handheld camcorder, with all the shakes and wobbles that comes from someone just sitting there holding a camera and pointing it all over the place. And that's fine for a trailer for a movie, but not for a full-length feature film. You need to have a break from all the motion and have a decent amount of it filmed somewhat steady, with as little wobble or shake as possible, to allow you to focus on the scene. The reason the Blair Witch Project worked so well being filmed like this was because people really did believe for a little while that it could be real. This film never had that possibility, considering that we could not possibly believe for 1 second that this actually happened, a giant monster attacking New York City. We could buy 3 kids missing in the woods and their cameras being found, but not something like this. So again, this movie is totally filmed as if you gave the camera to a 5-year-old kid with ADD, or if you just had the camera dangling from a string. And this is probably the closest thing I've seen to being filmed by Kramer in the Little Kicks episode.
The French guy fell off his bike. Oh man, that's precious.
Why is this a problem? Well, for me, it was just too distracting. All I want to do was get some clear footage of what was going on. And normally I wouldn't spend this much time on this aspect of the film, but it's just way overdone and far too distracting. There will be some dialogue, and the camera will be pointing a girl's hand on her hip for over 5 seconds. Or he'll be filming the monster on TV and just move the camera off the monster for no reason. This just gets frustrating as a viewer. I am all for not showing the monster too much or holding off as much as possible. And 2 parts of the trailer totally sold this movie and began everyone's imagination running wild with thoughts on what this would be like as a full feature film. First was a huge explosion in New York City. The second being the Statue of Liberty's head flying towards a cameraman. Now that was pretty sweet, and those 2 shots alone made people go crazy for the possibility of a great new monster movie. Now this doesn't mean this film doesn't have its strong points if you can get over how it was shot. The cast was pretty good, and the dialogue was actually believable for the most part. Now you did get the feeling these people knew each other and developed good chemistry between them. When you see this movie, you'll be very bored for the first 20 or so minutes of the film. It's meant to play out as literally taking someone's daily camcorder footage and watching it. So there's a lot of stuff like walking down the street or getting on a train, and it's about as exciting as watching someone shop for groceries. It's very mundane footage for the first act of the film. This doesn't really hurt the film, and it's nice to see someone direct a film like this and try to make it as believable as possible. And this film does a good job of capturing an event on a camcorder along with all the previous events leading up to it. So as far as that aspect goes, it is done very well. Now the big problem for me is I really don't think many movies can be filmed like this and be very enjoyable to watch. This would be like watching a movie that was filmed in almost total darkness and you couldn't make anything out and you felt like you were listening to just the audio only. It'd be okay for a few minutes, but not for a full hour and a half. The ending was decent, and I pretty much knew how it was going to play out within the first 40 minutes or so. And I don't think anyone would be totally shocked with how this ends, but it was executed pretty well. Overall, this was a decent attempt at something rarely done, but at the same time, there's a reason for this. It doesn't work well for a feature film. There is one almost absolute rule in movies. The book is always better than the movie. Well, with Cloverfield, the trailer was better than the movie. Some films you can watch multiple times, this is not one of them. While the film does succeed in creating the impression this did happen and was captured by the worst camcorder operator ever, but at the same time, I want to get more in the story and what was happening. And the way this was filmed hurt the movie, not helped it. For my overall rating, I give Cloverfield 3 stars.
You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Post your comments below on what you thought of this movie. If you'd like to rate and review a movie, you can do so at www.yourmovieratings.com. At this site, you can upload a video review or even a text review of any movie ever made. If you subscribe to my channel, you'll be notified immediately when my latest movie review is uploaded. Also, if you'd like to see some of the latest info regarding my channel, then check out my website at MrBlacksReviews.com. And if you made a cool video, or you want to share your YouTube channel with other members, then post them in the YouTube section. These forums are dedicated to everything from new movie releases to your very own YouTube channel. And don't forget, I'll be giving away DVDs at the forums, including the following titles: Transformers, Harry Potter, The Simpsons, Hot Fuzz, and 4 DVDs of the movie 300. So join the forums for a chance to win any one of these DVDs. And finally, if you want to see my list of upcoming movie reviews, then just go to my forums and click on the calendar. This has all the movies that I'll be reviewing in the future. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you again next week.